Good morning, Power Boosters. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin. So this week's video is going to be a little bit different than the videos that I've been making.
And now for something completely different.
I've been making a lot of videos that have to do with the features, reviews, just different things having to do with the actual F150 and all the components of it. This week's video, I figured I would do something where it showcases what do I do, what do I use the truck for? One of the many things I use the truck for. Well, obviously, you know, if you've been watching any of the videos on my channel, that I use the truck for work as a daily driver. I drive it around. Part of my job is I go around and visit clients all day, so I have a whole bunch of different places that I go.
I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people.
Different varying lengths of time and travel that I go to, but put on a decent amount of miles per year doing that. So on the weekends, one of the things that I do, especially as we get into late summer and fall, my wife and I are avid cyclists. I like to cycle on the road. She does too, but she also does a discipline called Cyclocross. And if you've never heard of that before, you can do a quick Google search and it'll tell you what it is. But let me have, she's actually recording today. I'll have her pan back to show her bike. And as you can see, a cyclocross bike is kind of like a road bike with the drop handlebars, but it has knobbier tires. And the race consists of, basically the race consists of a predetermined course. It can be varying degrees of length, a mile or 2 or 3 miles, and the riders have about an hour to go around that as many times as possible. And obviously it's kind of like a circuit course, but it's on an off-road. Some of the courses have a little bit of an on-road component, but it's mostly, I'd say almost always off-road. There's tons of hills and obstacles. Sometimes you have to get off your bike and carry it, run up hills that are too steep to ride up. But anyway, so this is one of the things that when we envisioned getting this truck, is this would be a great vehicle to take to the races, because you're often there for, a half a day. There's several races going on. You have to wait for podiums. It's in a time of year where the weather can be kind of crappy. We're fortunate that today is not going to be too bad, except for maybe a little bit of rain, but we kind of needed a place that we could, if the bike got really muddy, we could throw it in the back, the bed, and not have to worry about getting the inside of, the back of an SUV. Because as you know, if you've seen the other video on my channel, my wife has an Alfa Romeo Stelvio, and putting a muddy cyclocross bike into the back of that car would be a little bit more painful than throwing it into the bed of an F150. So also, it is muddy, so oftentimes after a race, she will have to change her kit, the clothing that she wears on the bike, because she just gets so caked in mud.
Oh man, that's cold!
And she wouldn't want to spend, the next several hours waiting and watching other races and waiting for podiums if she gets on the podium in muddy clothes. So the back here is perfect for doing a quick change. Sometimes these races are not in a place where you have access to great bathroom facilities and whatnot. So sometimes people are just literally, changing with a towel around them on the outside of their car. But in this, the window tint in the back is perfect. It keeps it nice and private back here, and she can actually have enough room to change into her different clothes. And then also, going back to the Powerboost, this truck idles very well. It will idle a long time in electric mode before it switches on the motor, which means that if it's cold or it's hot, we can run the air conditioning or the heater and be very comfortable. If it's a really crummy day and she wants to stay warm or she wants to stay cool before a race, she can kind of hang out in here a little bit and regulate her temperature. So I'm gonna, obviously she's filming right now, but as soon as we get there, I'll film a little bit of the races going on so you guys can see a little bit of the course and what's happening. Like I said, this week's video is a little bit different. This is one of the things that we use the truck for.
What is like in Boston?
So that was Cyclocross. That's what we kind of use the truck for sometimes on the weekends when she has, my wife has some races, and she used the back to take her shoes on and off, or cleats that actually clip into the pedals. And now their bike is super muddy. We didn't put it in the back. We actually put it in the bed because there's like mud and grass on it. This race took place on actually someone's house. They actually have a whole bunch of land and they put on this race, but sometimes the races will take place in, you know, hilly areas in like parks or ski clubs or whatever.
Tips down. Tips fucking down right away.
So it was a unique experience and something we enjoyed doing together. My wife finished first in her category and won a watermelon, so that was pretty great. And, you know, oh, jeez, this is terrible. So hopefully I'll be able to bring you more videos about other things that I do in the truck other than work, which you've already seen lots of. And I'll you know, feature some of these little things I do with the truck that are not work related. And having said that, that's all I've got for you this week. I will see you in the next video.